This is not a love story, it's a warning. Have you ever loved someone so much you wanted to keep them forever, even their soul? Welcome to Tales by Rennie. In the quiet village of Otoromi, nestled deep within the African rainforest, lived a woman named Adiaha. She was admired for her beauty and her quiet demeanor. But behind her quiet eyes burned a love so fierce it became dangerous. Some said her cooking carried a strange aroma, but they never knew true purpose: to bind the hearts of the man she could not bear to lose. Her husband, Ikong, was a hunter, a strong man whose shadow always seemed to stretch longer than anyone else. He had married Adiaha out of love, despite the village elders' warning that there was something unnatural about her lineage. An old chief had whispered, "A woman who speaks to the fire at night is no ordinary woman." But love, they say, make men blind. And so, Ikong married her. One evening, Ikong returned from the forest, dragging a large antelope behind him. He dropped his hunting spear by the door and sat down, exhausted. Adiaha watched him in silence, her dark eyes glinting under the dim glow of their oil lamp. "My love," she said softly, kneeling beside him, saying, "Would you let me cook something special for you tonight?" Ikong raised a brow and said, "Something special? What have you not already cooked for me, Adiaha?" She smiled, a smile that sent chills through his spine. Then she said, "A meal that will bind us together forever." Ikong laughed, shaking his head. He didn't notice the meaning of Adiaha's fingers tracing the ground, forming strange patterns in the dust. If Ikong knew what was coming ahead and paid attention, he should have asked more questions. He should have never let her prepare that meal. That night, Adiaha lit a great fire in the center of their compound. She placed a large clay cooking pot on top of the burning flames, filling it with water, herbs, and something else, something unseen. The villagers who passed by the hut felt a strange presence in the air with a beautiful aroma. An old woman asked, "Adiaha, what are you cooking?" She replied and said, "A meal for my beloved," a voice carrying an air melody. No one dared question her further. Inside the house, Ikong slept deeply, too deeply. His body lay motionless on the mat, but his shadow, his long towering shadow, began to stir. It rose from the floor, stretching, twisting, wriggling, as if it had a life of its own. Then, slowly, it drifted out of the hut and into the pot. Adiaha whispered an incantation. "Taye Nkurume! Come to me, my shadow. Come." And then the fire roared, licking the bottom of the pot hungrily. She stirred the pot and smiled. Ikong woke up with a sharp gasp. Something was wrong. He felt lighter. He sat up and looked around. The room felt darker and emptier. Then he saw it. His shadow was gone. Panic clawed at his chest. He rushed outside, only to see his wife standing beside the bubbling pot. She turned to him, holding a wooden spoon, saying sweetly, "You are just in time, my love. Our meal is almost ready." Ikong took a step back. His mouth felt dry, and he shouted, "Adiaha, what have you done?" She looked at him and said, tilting her head, saying, "I fed the fire with what it wanted." Ikong's stomach churned as he was watching the bubbling liquid inside the pot. The reflection on the water was not just his face staring back, but it was a shadow, screaming. His hands shook. He looked down at his feet. Nothing, no dark silhouette trailing behind him, no proof that he still belonged to the living world. Then Adiaha whispered to him, "A man without a shadow is no man at all." Terror and regret seized Ikong. He turned to run, but his feet would not move. His body froze. His skin tingled. His breath came in short gasps. He was disappearing. Adiaha said to him, stepping forward, "Don't worry, my love. Soon you will be part of me forever." The next morning, the villagers noticed something odd. Adiaha sat outside her hut, stirring a small pot of soup. But when she stood up to leave, her shadow stretched twice as long as before. Some villagers say it looked familiar, while some say it was trying to escape. As the villagers whispered about Adiaha's unnatural long shadow, one woman named Old Mother Efik stepped forward. She had seen many things in her long life, and the sights before her made her blood run cold. She grabbed a handful of sacred white chalk and threw it at Adiaha's feet. The moment the powder touched the ground, Adiaha's shadow writhed violently, twisting like a snake in pain. The villagers gasped. A deep, agonized groan came from the shadow. It wasn't just a shadow. It was Ekong trapped spirits. Old Mother Efik whispered and said, "She did not just kill her husband, she also imprisoned his soul within her own." The villagers, all shocked and recalled in horror. Adiaha laughed softly, her eyes dark as the night, and she murmured, "What do you all know about love?" Her voice was thick with something unnatural, something obsessive. Then Adiaha said, "Men leave. They always do. A wife is never enough for them. There is always another woman, another reason to stray. But I, Adiaha, will not allow it. My Ikong will never leave me." Silence fell over the village as her words sank in. She had not just fed her husband his own shadow. She had bound his soul to hers forever, so that even in death, he would belong to no one else. Ikong's ghostly voice rose from the shadow, filled with endless torment, saying, "Let me go, Adiaha, please." Adiaha smiled, stepping back into the darkness, where her elongated shadow wrapped around her feet like a living thing, saying, "You are mine, Ikong. You will always be mine." As she disappears into her hut, the villagers knew one thing for certain, that Adiaha was no longer just a woman, but something else, something cursed. And from that day on, no man in Otoromi ever married a woman who walked without a shadow. That is the end of today's beautiful story. You see, the real meaning behind this title is that Adiaha literally fed her husband his own essence, his own soul, so that he would remain bound to her forever, even in death. This is not love, but it was obsession. His shadow was his life. Love should never be forced. Obsession is not love. It is a prison. Some sacrifices should never be made, and she stole it to keep him trapped. Adiaha wanted to keep Ikong forever, but in doing so, she cursed herself. When you take away someone else's freedom, you lose your own. And now, Adiaha was forever tied to Ikong's tormented soul, never to be free. Till this day, people still mistake obsession for love. Do you think Adiaha was wrong for what she did? And do you also think that Ikong was foolish not to listen to the words of the elders? Let us know in the comments. Okay guys, if you want to see more beautiful stories like this, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and turn on your post notification bell to know when I post a new video. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.